With some breaking news.
The AP seminar exam is headed your way and you need to be prepared quickly.
I'm Emma.
And I'm Dylan.
And here's some information on the test that you need to know.
So the first big idea that College Board thinks that you should master is to question and explore. And our tip for this is to find something that you enjoy.
You need to brainstorm with your partners, make a list of all of your interests, talk it out, and then pick an idea that both of you or your entire group likes.
Even though you might have an interest in something, you also need to make sure that it's complex and to make sure that it is good enough for College Board and that there's enough to it that you can research it and find good materials for it.
So make sure that you can find stuff about it, and if it's a very obscure topic and you can't find any information on it, you might not want to do that.
Find something that will fit better into your overall presentation at the end. Make sure that you also have several perspectives within your idea and make sure that it's still interesting. Just keep it fun, keep it loose, and then you will be able to work on it and be interested in it, and it'll turn out to be a great project.
You can also use a perspective map. So you have your topic that you find in the middle, and then you branch off with different perspectives, either a doctor, a teacher, or any other person you can think of. How will this topic affect that person? So you can include more information when you research them and see what their input is on the topic.
Yeah, this will help you really explore your topic and figure out what you need to know.
Big idea number 2 is understand and analyze. And our tip for that is to stay on task. Because if you don't stay on task, you're gonna have a bunch of irrelevant information that is completely useless.
Yeah, make sure you stay on task with your research question and that it all fits and flows into your solution. You wanna make sure that everything makes sense when it's all put together. And when you are looking for sources to support your ideas, make sure that they don't have any fallacies, that they're not biased, and that they're relevant.
A way to find out if they're credible and relevant is to use Raven and Pace. This will help you identify flaws in the sources, and you can even point them out. So you can still use sources that have flaws or that might be biased. You just have to explain when you're talking about them in your essays or in your presentation how these may be flawed, which could also go towards your counterclaim.
Yeah, exactly. And just really when you're trying to analyze your information that you're finding, make sure that they have those different perspectives, make sure they're credible, and most of all, make sure that they fit your project and that you're not going off task.
A key part to this is to collaborate and share info, because if your partner doesn't understand fully what's going on, then your project is going to be really messy and no one's going to fully understand everything. Even to yourself, you want to use sources that you can analyze and understand so that your project so that in the end you can fully explain your project without being lost or confused in any part of it.
Big idea 3 is to evaluate multiple perspectives. And our tip for you for this big idea is to look at the big picture. So by that we mean that you need to look at your solution and look at your problem as a whole and make sure that when you're evaluating your research that it all fits to this main topic and your solution at the end.
So when you do this, you need to look at the bias and credibility and the reason behind everything that you're doing. Because if you ask yourself, hey, does this apply to our project? And it doesn't, or hey, can I use this as a counterclaim? Then you should not be using it, you should not be talking about it, and get rid of it right away so that you're not overcrowded with a bunch of different sources that don't apply to you.
When you're evaluating the perspectives within the evidence that you're finding, you can also look at the author and their background information. That'll help you a lot too, to make sure that they're credible and just really the motivations behind all the different research that you're finding. Look at the big picture and make sure that they fit in.
You also want to make sure to use multiple lenses, so whether it be government, economy, education. Make sure you include as many as you possibly can and talk about them in detail by using different sources that would apply to them, and even including perspectives to work in with all of them.
Once you figure out what you want your topic to be, what your solution to be, make sure that it all fits together nicely, and everything that you're evaluating, all your perspectives, that they all fit under that one big umbrella for your solution and your project.
Big idea 4 is synthesize ideas, meaning our tip for today is begin with the end in mind.
So within big idea 4, when you're synthesizing your ideas, beginning with the end in mind, so you're thinking about your conclusion, about your solution, just like in all the other different big ideas, you really want to hone in and make sure that you build your own argument and that it is unique to yourself and not really the same as anyone else's in your class, because chances are other people are going to be doing that same topic. The more unique it is, the more it'll catch College Board's attention and the more they will enjoy it.
So when you're looking for a project, do not type into Google and pick the first thing you see. You want to make sure it's interesting and unique, especially your solutions, because if you could easily find something that someone has already made, then it's not your own project, it's not your own solution. Make sure College Board has never heard of it before.
I mean, it doesn't have to be exactly something that they've never heard of before, but you want to make sure that it's unique to what you want to research and that it's not exactly the same as everyone else's. When you're synthesizing your ideas, you want to also do a plagiarism check on yourself, because that is like the worst case scenario. When you bring all your ideas together, you want to make sure that you have cited all of the places that you've been, finding your information, getting ideas from, just to be safe. You don't want to leave anything out. Also images, don't forget to cite those.
So after you use a source, make sure you write down the information about it, so that later on you can put them in order and have an easier time putting it all together.
So big idea 5 is team, transform, and transmit. And our key for this big idea is to communicate. Communication is key. And basically, not all the time you're gonna see eye to eye with your friends. It's just not gonna happen. Your diploma is more important than your friends' feelings, and they're gonna get hurt sometimes, and that's okay. You're looking out for yourself, and you're also looking out for them. You might be trying to give them some advice, and they might take it the wrong way. Just be aware of that, and that you might not always be working with your friends on everything that you do. You want the best people in your group that you can, and sometimes it just doesn't work out.
You may be a very talkative person and enjoy goofing around in class, but this is not the time for it. So if you have a best friend in the class, maybe don't do the project with them, or try to sit far away when you're working, so that later on you can talk with your partners without making fun and wasting your time, basically.
When you're with your groups, make sure you use your voice and you stand up for what you think is interesting and how you think things should be done. Don't just say, yeah, okay. Make sure that you definitely give your opinion on the topic.
One of the most important things is to make your project appealing, because if Miss Lindsay is snoring in the back because she doesn't find anything appealing about your project, College Board will think the same exact way, because you want to have visuals, tone fluctuation, as well as hand movements to make sure that the audience is engaged, and even pointing at the graphs could help improve your score at this point.
So when you're communicating in this big idea, you want to reflect on your work and check with your teammates and your peers, even other teachers, on how you can make improvements and how you can see what needs to be done and change to make your presentation better. If you are very elite students looking to get into these high-ranked top colleges, universities, this diploma will help you get there. And when you think about that, it'll make it all worth it in the end. Everyone in the class just heard me. That was so funny. I could do the staring while I was.
Oh! Hey, what's up, you guys? I'm Emma.
And I'm Dylan, and welcome back to our channel. Before you watch this video, make sure you hit that like button and
subscribe down below.
Yeah. That's and you're just not gonna get it done.
And what we mean by that, Dylan, you look kind of different.
Bro, what are you talking about?
Your voice is kind of deep.
All right. Okay. Make sure that you still, again, really.
How rude.
Look at my rainbow ring.
Wow, you're really flexing on us like that.
I mean, what can I say? Miss Lindsay gave it to me.
She didn't give me a ring.
Ha.